So what you just saw there were some clips from my first time in a demolition derby, and I'm just going to let some pictures of the car before and after other pictures I got at the derby play in the background while I talk about this for a second. But there's a lot of information to take in while you're in the derby that you don't really think about before you go in. There's so many cars flying around, hitting into you, you're hitting into people. There's not really time to process what's going on until there's a shutdown because someone's helmet came off or something like that. So I'm just going around. I don't have anything against anyone because I can't even remember who's hit me because I wasn't looking. I was just trying to drive the car. But people would come up to me after the derby and say, "Oh man, I hit into you and it like smashed the front end right out of my car and it took me out of the derby." And I didn't even realize they were there because I'm just like fighting for my life for survival here. But I guess when it's not your first time, you have time to look around and see, oh, hey, I remember them. But I had time for none of that. Anyway, the way my car got out of the derby is when my front end got all smashed in, like you can see in that picture, it cut the battery connections and grounded the battery out to the frame and lit on fire. So that's what took me out in the end. I'm going to be running this car again in October. My wife will actually be driving. So we're just going to get the front end pulled out, put some kind of a trailer axle under the back, rewire the battery, new radiator, all that kind of just stuff that is going to get worn out in a derby. We're just going to replace that and run it again. I think this car has a few more runs in it. The engine still runs pretty strong. And I got 5th place in the derby that I was in. So 4th place would have made money, so I was pretty close there. But I hope my wife can do better and maybe get into the money a little bit. Now, without further ado, here's the rest of the derby. So right here, I didn't mean to make a hit, after the bell or after the lights are off, but, it was my first derby. I didn't really even see that those lights had turned red or any of the flags waving. There's still lots of cars moving, so I just went ahead and made that hit, but I don't think it did too much damage to the guy I hit anyway. I did film this whole thing on a GoPro, but after one big hit, the GoPro mount got a little bit turned sideways, so most of what you can see is the floor. So in the intro, you saw some GoPro footage, but that's pretty much all the footage that was usable from the GoPro that wasn't pointed right at the floor. Something else that seems totally obvious to you guys watching the video is how damaged the car is and what's wrong with it. You know, both tires are dragging around, the back end's all smashed in, the front bumper's pushed up a little bit. But in the car, you don't see any of that. So you put your foot on the floor and you don't go very fast. You think, oh, maybe the engine's low on power. You don't necessarily know you're dragging the tires around or how crumpled up anything is. It's just a weird thing that if you've never driven in a derby, you wouldn't know that, or you might not have that perspective that you have no idea what's wrong with the car until after the derby's over. So before this derby, the car had a blown head gasket, and I'll talk more about that at the end. But the car would still kind of run just a little bit with the head gasket blown. You know, you could still drive it, but it was just really unhappy, blowing smoke, chewing on all the coolant. It would go through the whole coolant reservoir in like a minute or two. But, you know, it was junk anyway, so we were just going to, you know, send it out there, and, you know, however far it makes it, I'll be happy with. So somewhere in here, my steering breaks. Like, I had steering before that hit, and then when I come away after the hit here, I don't have any steering at all. And even after the derby, you know, the wheel just spins now. So this is actually a girl. She pushes me around, and I just, you know, I'm flooring it at this point. I hit the wall here. My foot literally never leaves the floor from the time that I'm going backwards. You can see that front tire just doing its best to pull me around. This guy hits me, gives me a little bit of momentum, and I realize that to maximize like the time on the clock, I just need to hit whoever I can, and I get in a head-on with that same girl that was pushing me, and it knocks her helmet off and puts us into like a safety, or, you know, they wave the flag. And so this gives me time to get out of the car, because when we hit there, it cut my battery connections and lit the car on fire. So it was a really good thing her helmet came off for me. So right here at the end, I want to take a second to say thank you to my sponsors, Ameriquip Disposal and Premier Service and Supply. They provided me with the roll cage medal and a couple other things. And my dad, who, without him, we would be running a car with a blown head gasket, but he came down a weekend or two before the derby and helped me swap a whole engine into the car, along with he did a lot of the fuel system stuff with me and helped me build the roll cage. He did a lot. So thank you to my sponsors and my family for helping me with this project and allowing me to do this. You know, I should also say thank you to my wife, because, you know, she let me build this, and that was actually her car that she used to drive around, you know, to work and to school. And when she blew the head gasket, she said it was okay for me to derby it. And also thank you to my mom, because we built it in her garage. You know, I'm a college student right now. I'm married. We're living in an apartment. We don't have a garage to build this kind of thing in, or a shop that we could go to. I don't work a job that allows me to have access to a shop. So I really appreciate what everyone did for me to make this happen.